Thank you very much, Brooke. And I hope that you have enjoyed the first hours with other sessions, the two sessions previous to this one. And welcome everybody again to session 4 of the first AfA Connect 2024. My name is Thanh. I'm the lead coordinator of the Farm Animal Coalition, and I'm your host today. As you have been aware and following, the number of people trying to adopt and trying plant-based diet increasing every year worldwide. And now we not only have the Veganuary, but also have the Green Monday and even Green Tuesday. And there are many other different vegan challenges that help motivate people to try vegan diet. However, there are many other programs and activities that animal protection organizations and vegan organizations are doing that are also very effective in helping to create a more humane world. And that's why in today's session, we would like to, it's my honor to introduce to you 3 amazing speakers who will talk about their programs that help incubate and boost the veganism at national and international scales. The first speaker is Shirley Lu, Managing Director and Asia Chief China Representative of ProVeg International. The second speaker is Monica Wang, the founder of Xiaobu Vegan. And the third speaker is Sarita Joshi. She's now acting as a human behavior change running the human behavior change campaign at Federation of Indian Animal Protection Organizations, FIAPO for short. Let us now welcome Shirley as our first speaker. And Shirley, the floor is yours whenever you are ready.
Thank you, Tan, and thank you, FA, for inviting. Let me share my screen. I can share my screen now. Sorry, I still can't share my screen. Can you please give me the...
Yep, no worries, Shirley. We will have our team help. Just let us know when you want us to change the slides.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, can you please load the slide in? You have access to the Google slide, right? Not the downloaded version?
This is being worked on in the background. We'll be with you just really quickly. Sorry for the delay.
Oh, no problem.
Shirley, you should now be able to share. Try again.
Okay.
We can see.
Okay, great, wonderful. So yeah, thank you again for having me here today. My short talk will be on alternative protein powered by innovation from ProVeg. So the reason why I like to share about what we do by protecting animals through innovation is, I think, not only to share the events, activities in Asia, but also to seek collaboration. Okay, a very brief introduction about myself. Yeah, so prior to ProVeg, I was in the food industry. I have over 20 years experience in innovation, marketing, and also strategic planning with a packaged food company, consumer goods company, and also food ingredients companies. In 2022, I set up ProVeg INGO rep office in China. Okay, so yeah, I think you're familiar with these challenges, and you've been pioneers, champions in this regards: animal sufferings, deforestation, hunger, public health challenges. And all these global urgent problems share a common cause: our choice of foods. And ProVeg is a food awareness organization. Our goal is to replace conventional animal consumption through food innovations, alternative proteins like plant-based, fermentation-derived, and also cultivated proteins. ProVeg has received a few accolades. We have received UN's Momentum for Change Awards. ProVeg is also permanent observer status from 2 UN agencies on climate change, UN FCCC and IPCC. ProVeg is also received accreditation from UNAE. We have 12 offices across different continents, but our campaigns covers much broader than this. Okay. So for those who don't know ProVeg yet, so what do? We focus on food innovation with the incubator, which I will introduce later. And we also work with corporations and doing research and to make policy recommendations and advocacy. Our teams also do like communication movements and engage media. Okay, so incubator, that's what I'm going to focus on today. ProVeg Incubator is the world's first incubator focusing on animal-free food techs. And we help pioneering companies to develop disruptive alternatives in order to replace animal-based ingredients and products. This is the 6th year of the ProVeg Incubator. And in the past 5 years, ProVeg Incubator has supported and mentored more than 100 startups in, cell-cultivated, plant-based, and also fermentation-derived. These startups are coming from 35 different countries. Some of them also from Asia, I hope to highlight later. Okay, so last year was a big year for the ProVeg Incubator and for some of our alumni. Just I'll give you a few examples. Better Nature. Better Nature is a joint venture between UK and Indonesia. Okay, this is a company focusing on tempeh. Tempeh products. Tempeh has over 300 years of history from Indonesia, and this companies used tempeh and developed a range of diversified main meal and also snacks product, and has already sold their product into major retailers in UK. Last year, they also successfully raised over £1 million for further growth and expansion. Another startup from Asia, Umami United. This company focusing on plant-based egg. Do you know that Japan has the highest per capita consumption of egg? I think between China and Japan, they are #1 and #2. Okay, and in fact, outside of Japan and China, Asians love eggs, the taste of eggs, and has so many applications. Therefore, now we need a lot more egg substitutes. Innovation solutions. Umami United has used soy and soybeans and also konjac to provide the flavors and textures, and also mushrooms and soya to provide the nutrition. Okay. There are also a few other startups that performed quite well from Europe or from the Northern Europe. The Scandinavians successfully raised funds in this challenging economic environment. So there are still investors that look for quality the initiatives with good potentials. So the incubator alumni from Asia, right? I hope that we together now can also support these initiatives in order to support animals. For example, How Food is a Sino-Indonesian joint venture. It's a plant-based chicken using a peanut. And Better Nature, I just introduced focusing on tempeh, and initiatives that say Allium Bio from Singapore. It's a fermentation project, use microalgae and also mycelium. Right, this aims to replace animal proteins through fermentation solutions. And we also have Vitality Foods from Singapore. Vitality Food is a startup focusing on the elderly group to provide, for example, plant-based plant-based soup base. Asians, especially the Chinese, love soups. So these provide plant-based solutions to provide nutritious and sustainable soup alternatives. Start Plant is plant-based milk using chickpeas from Xinjiang. And we also have a plant origin from Thailand. They use rice bran to make egg substitute. This is a startup from Thailand. So even better that they turn waste into something useful, and also sustainable. Okay. The ProVeg incubator is a 12-week programs. We connect startups that help to provide sustainable food solutions, good for the environment, good friendly for the animals. Besides 12-week programs, we connect them into research and also fundraising communities. Each startups can receive, once they are selected in the incubator, they can receive up to 300,000 euro funding. So the reason to share is in your community, in your city, in your countries, if there are more sustainable proteins startups, please invite them to look up ProVeg incubators. We hope there will be more startups from Asia join the community and able to tap into the resources in research, in funding, in business practices through this community. And we hope to see more healthy, nutritious, affordable, successful initiatives in the market. I'd like to briefly also share another campaign that's actually developed and launched in Asia Pacific. Okay, last year was the 4th year we launched the Food Innovation Challenge. And the Food Innovation Challenge, the idea is to connect food and beverage companies with college students to co-create sustainable food solutions. So last year, we have companies like Unilever, Nestle, Cargill, Beyond Meat, CPF, headquartered in Bangkok, and the students joined these campaigns, total to over 1,000 students, and they formed 384 teams. Last year was the year that we had record number of companies and also students participation. The reason I want to share is that last year we also opened the campaign to students outside of Asia to form teams with students in Asia. Okay, so if you are based in Asia, great. I like to invite a collaboration with you to help amplify this campaign to college students in your city, in your countries. If you are outside of Asia, we also hope to collaborate with you. The campaign, I said, have over 1,000 students participated. And according to our survey, that after this campaign, their awareness about the benefits of plant-based, the need to go plant-based increased. Their interest to adopt a plant-forward, a plant-rich diet also increased. The campaign reached beyond this 1,000 students. In communication, it reached millions of students in Asia. So for those that couldn't finish their proposals, we plant the seed by introducing them about the need to go plant-based and how they can contribute their creativities to develop sustainable food solutions and to make the planet more sustainable. That's my brief sharing. So again, thanks for listening, and I invite the like-minded organizations in Asia and also beyond Asia to reach out. I look forward to hearing from you if you are interested to collaborate to amplify the campaigns. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shirley. That is very inspiring, and it's really much needed effort to incubate more programs and make people more accessible to vegan food. Thank you for sharing your presentation. And now we would like to invite Monica Wang for sharing such for the information that she's doing. Monica Wang is the founder of Xiaobu Vegan, and she is doing everything she can in her country to support the growing a plant-based community in China. The floor is yours now, Monica.
Okay, thank you, Tan. Let me share my screen. Okay. So I think the screen's being sharing right now. Okay.
Yep, working.
So, yep, let me move this a little bit. Okay. So I want to say thank you to the organizers for inviting me, and I'm honored to be a speaker at this conference. So my name is Monica Wang. I'm the founder of Xiaobu Vegan. So to give you maybe a little bit information about Xiaobu Vegan, Xiaobu in Chinese means step, like small steps. So we want to encourage people to go to vegan lifestyle step by step. That's why we call ourselves Xiaobu Vegan. And our platform is dedicated to promoting a plant-based lifestyle. Therefore, the theme today, A Human World Starts From Your Plate, resonates deeply with both me, myself, and our organization. So to give a brief overview of the dietary habits in China. So from a young age and even today, if you ask most Chinese people, they will tell you that the healthiest diet is one that combines meat and vegetable. You cannot just eat meat, you must include vegetables, especially green ones. What you definitely shouldn't do is eat only vegetables, as most people find it hard to associate a vegan diet or vegetarian diet with animal welfare or as ethics. If you only eat vegetables, you might be labeled as Buddhist, you have some religion beliefs, or you are maybe too poor to afford meat, though it is less likely today, since everyone knows that China is becoming rich. So, what worse, people might even think you have something wrong in the head. So for most Chinese people, not eating meat is not only unsupported, but also criticized. Then what meat do we eat the most? As you can see from the picture on the left, I know there are some Chinese, but there are some English there. Or if you have some knowledge of Chinese cuisine, you would know that the pork is the largest category of meat consumption. So according to the reports from China's Market Supervision Department, 1.4 billion Chinese people consume about 700 million pigs, 50 million cattle, 400 million sheep, and 16.5 billion poultry each year. So, however, as people's getting richer, more individuals have started to forsake pork in favor of higher-end beef and seafood, such as salmon. These meats are considered healthier compared to pork and also serve as a status, as a good money status symbol. Moreover, you can see from the images that there's a clear religion difference in meat consumption in China. So people from different areas have their old traditional meat preference. Like Xinjiang, for example, is known for its lamb, Tibet and Qinghai for their beef, and the inland areas mainly consume pork. So another thing about Chinese eating habit is that it seems like we eat everything. So for example, chicken feet, with many people from other countries find completely unacceptable. And even wild animals like snake in the past. And in history, when China has many people and not enough food, it was seen as good to not waste food and to respect the animal eaten. So this has been the general attitude towards food among most Chinese people, especially for meat consumption part. However, things are changing right now. As people learn more, as people are getting more richer and getting better education, especially young people, they are becoming more aware of what they are eating. More people care about eating health now. So increasingly, people want to eat greener and healthier, not just for personal health reasons, but also considering environmental protection and animal welfare. This is why our organization, Xiaobu Vegan, exists. We are the ones making this eating habit shift, and we believe this change is not happening fast enough or involving enough people. Therefore, we hope our work can make more people realize the feasibility and the benefits of a plant-based lifestyle. We want everyone to make a more human choice, starting from the foods on their plates. So what exactly we done? I'd like to take this opportunity to share with you. So from an educational standpoint, we launched vegan debate competitions. We invite people from different industries with different views to debate vegan-related topics offline. And during this whole debate, we ask people to join us as audience, and we will ask them to show their opinion at the end of the debate. And at the same time, we will record the whole debate and we will edit and put it online on our platform. So through all these ideas, we aim to educate more people about plant-based living and animal protection. So our topics include, like, some animals are born to be food. Do you agree or disagree? Or like plant-based meat can save the world. Do you agree or disagree? So in terms of diets, we have expanded restaurant options by cooperating with different kind of restaurants in Shanghai and in other cities too, to introduce vegan menu, providing more vegan options for dining out. We also partner with local meal delivery service and vegan meal plan brands to offer vegan meal plans for busy workers, like 9-to-5 workers, so they can have more choice and they can just eat vegan easily. And we also do vegan challenge, and we want to encourage people to try like 1 week plant-based diet. And in addition of all this, we also organize various offline and online events to ensure the concept of veganism is accessible to more and more people. And we encourage community support and participation. This event includes like animal adoption, movie screening, and so much other more things. So I have some pictures here to show what kind of events we did before and how many people involved in our events before. And as you can see, the pictures, we also do something like vegan cooking. So we have people sign up to learn how to follow the vegan recipe, so you can make your own vegan dishes at home. So we believe China is a very large and important country, and as an advocate here, I believe it is very important for China to become greener. We hope our efforts can lead to more people realize that human worth begins with your food choice, and to understand the concept, to accept it, and to participate it. So we know the task ahead is challenging, but with the support, the international support, the group support, we feel that we are not fighting alone. So let's keep up the hard work, and thank you. Thank you, everyone. That's my sharing.
Oh, thank you very much, Monica. That is very inspiring, and it's such useful information about China's culture that I've learned from your slide. And I'm sorry again that I misspelled I couldn't pronounce Xiaobu Vegan correctly.
It's okay.
Yeah. And now I would like to invite our third and last speaker, Sarita Joshi, to share the details of FIAPO's educational institution outreach program. Sarita, do you want to share your screen and start when you're ready? Okay, let me see. Can you try unmute? Okay, sorry for technical issues. We'll look at it and we'll try to fix it soon.
Yeah, thank you. I think it worked. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, I'll share my screen. All right, thank you so much. So first of all, thank you so much for allowing me to come here and be part of this conference and to share the work that we do at FIAPO with the educational institutions in India. And I would just like to briefly, I made this presentation in quite a rush, I think, and I've not added as much about the background of why we do this. But I just want to tell that so FIAPO has been working for 14 years in India, and in the last decade only, we have seen a huge change in the vegan movement in this country from, about 6 years ago, where we were just coming up with innovations and new options in vegan diet and plant-based diet. We now see there is a variety. Like if you go to a supermarket or a store in India, you would have large sections where you would have multiple types of plant-based milks being provided. And people, we see that whether they are vegan or not, they understand the ethics of it or not, have been venturing into these food products. They have increasingly, there has been a trend in people where they want to switch to healthy, ethical and clean food. And that kind of drove us in the direction that if we talk to the young people that are decision makers for tomorrow or are going to get into maybe the professional industries in doing these innovations or being part of the food industry, it would give us some kind of a upper hand in building this movement among an audience which is going to take it further. So for the last 14 years, we've been doing this. We've always worked with young people, and we tried building movements across the country because we say that, we are not a federation if individuals, organizations, groups, and grassroots movements are not part of it. So we've been doing vegan advocacy in this country, and these four, aspects are the main, they're the key core of what we do at FIAPO. So we build awareness about animal rights, and we develop youth leaders, we do community building, and we also promote plant-based diets. So I specifically will be speaking about our college educational institutions outreach program. We call it compassionate campuses also at times. And the goals of this program, like I've written it here, so we want to sensitize these young people who are completely unaware about what happens to farmed animals in India. And, generally when we are in those classrooms, we realize how important it is because we see that there's this huge gap in their knowledge of how vegetarianism in India is quite big, but it's considered as completely ethical and no cruelty, is involved in vegetarianism is what people believe in this country. But while being a vegetarian in India means you will be consuming dairy. And we're able to help them understand how dairy is linked within the meat industry and how it is in itself a very cruel industry. So we try to sensitize the young college-going youth about these aspects. And we also, part of this program is also to build communities within the colleges and universities, the communities that are specifically dedicated to furthering animal rights voices and also working for the welfare of farmed animals. And we also, the third thing that we do is we try to bring a plant-based shift in the food systems in these campuses, from catering to events to canteens to their menus. Whatever much percentage of veganism they can acquire, we try to, we give them reasons to do it. And we tell them that if you can phase out in your menus from animal-based products to food, plant-based foods, let's do that over a year. Or you can immediately identify whatever are the vegan products and say them out on your menu that, there are a lot of vegan options that are served in these canteens. So this is the kind of work we do with colleges. And the engagement strategy, or the main way we are able to get into these colleges is these two aspects, these two approaches that we apply. So one, we work with all sorts of colleges and universities that have a national service scheme unit in within their campus. So National Service Scheme is a government associated program or a body in every college where a lot of students will just come and become part of this scheme or this unit to gain a certification. It is better for them because if they want to get into any kind of sports or any kind of career, this certificate comes really handy. And in this under National Service Scheme, they have to pick up any social cause, any one social cause that they will devote their time in certain hours every week to. So we go to colleges and we pitch our program to these students, and we tell them that if you have to pick any cause, why not pick a cause for animal rights? And we teach them through sessions we conduct, and we engage them in a lot of activities where we take them to a couple of shelters, we show them the animals and the conditions and how shelters are run. So we start with, like in this picture, it's showing how my colleague Jagriti, she was a speaker for one of these sessions. We call it Farmed Animals in Us, and we talk about our relationship with farmed animals and how it is a very anthropocentric relationship. And the other thing that we do with specifically with the hotel management institutes. So this is a professional professional courses universities where students go to get into the culinary industry, to get into the food and tourism industry. And with these institutes and these colleges, we specifically run a culinary workshop, 2-day culinary workshop, where we get Chef Varun, who's also the owner and founder of Bodhi Greens in India. It's a restaurant chain which is completely vegan. And we get him on board, and he's a nutritionist and he is a chef himself. So he conducts a workshop, a quite lengthy workshop on day one. Then he does a demo kitchen for students. And then the next day, there's a competition among the students that have participated in our workshop. And during that competition, they themselves create like a whole 3-course meal in different groups. Multiple dishes are created, and it is all veganized. They don't use any kind of dairy. And so this is how we do our programs. And like I said, so there are a few key elements of our programs in both these of these kind of colleges. So we do online and offline workshops. Online workshops actually was never our idea, but due to COVID, we started this program about 2 years ago, and in a very staggered way. But we would get a lot of colleges that were interested after listening to what kind of work we did with another college. Some colleges would just reach out to us and say, can you do a workshop with us? Can you teach our students also? So initially it was just curiosity, and for them it was their hours and their certificates. But we've been able to continue with both online and offline workshops till now, where we talk about farmed animal sentience, veganism, plant-based diets, and food trends also across India. And then we also help. So what happens is that sometimes some of these colleges, the NSS groups, or the college itself, the university itself, will sign an MOU with us or give us a commitment that they would like to reduce or replace the animal-based foods or meals with plant-based foods in there in some way. and they adopt this program called Sustainable Bites program of FIAPO. Or either way, they somehow just, anyways, adopt the whole idea of replacing animal-based foods with plant-based foods in their canteens, even if they don't sign a commitment. So we help them in planning and, executing. We guide them how to execute certain animal rights activities across the year. We give them different days are there. And students only come up with different initiatives. Initially, we tell them, 1 or 2 times we tell them that you can do such an activity, you could do a street play, you could do an outreach. So like in this picture below, all of these are the students of Lady Shri Ram College in Delhi. And they did an animal rights march where they came up with the slogans. They sent it to us. They told us the area they were going to cover outside their college campus, across the locality. And then we just had to be there with them to kind of show our support. And they did it all by themselves. Then we also continue to engage these colleges once a session is done, once a talk is done, or any activity is done. We don't just leave them, because it's part of nurturing a group in the college, which then becomes a proper society or a community which is dedicated to working for farmed animals welfare, as well as speaking for the rights. So in a way, they're like small vegan advocacy campaigns to nurture in the colleges. So this is a glimpse of one of our plant-based culinary workshop. In fact, today I'm giving, I'm sitting for this talk from one of the IHM Institute. I'm in Kurukshetra, and we are at this university. And while I'm doing this session, my colleagues are enjoying really amazing. They're relishing the plant-based dishes that have been created by students. So this is Chef Varun, and first day he will deliver a talk. He will talk about veganism, and he'll differentiate how plant-based diets are about food, about an aspect of what you eat, and how plant-based diets are just a part of veganism, and what veganism in an ethical sense is to these students. And then he does a demo workshop with them where he will prepare about 6 of the basic dishes. He'll make pizzas, he'll make something like butter chicken vegan, because people in India really like a lot of dishes with butter and ghee. So he would veganize everything, and he would show them that it's very easy to make. And on the second day, students themselves prepare these foods. So with NSS groups in the other colleges, this is sort of a glimpse of what our program looks like. So here is one of my colleagues in Pune giving a talk at the VIAPO Pune Institute to a batch of about 75 or 80 students. And they would talk about farmed animals and our relationship with them, and how animal farming is then also associated with not just cruelty to animals, but to the health sector and the crisis within the healthcare industry, and the environment degradation, and the wildlife, loss of wildlife, and so all of those things. And then this is second picture is of one of the college groups. Yeah, I think they themselves call themselves Living Free. And this is one of their Instagram picture. And on their Instagram page, if you would go there and you would find Living Free, this page, they would say Living Free, the campus volunteer group of FIAPO. They take initiatives on their own. They would do tattoo booths. They would do vegan food tastings. So if there is any fest, any event in the college, they would do some vegan outreach of their own, and they just come up to us, propose a plan to us, and we just give them some resources, whatever they need. And this last picture is of one of the NSS camps. So the National Service Scheme students also have an on-site camp where they go to a village, or they have adopted a village where they'll spend 7 days taking care of that village. So on those 7 days, whatever meals they have, every day they veganize the entire menu. And by the end of that camp, they kind of have served about 5,600 vegan meals. Yeah, so this is recent. So in January, VIAPO Pune, this institute shared on their social media page how they took up FIAPO India's initiative of plant-based foods and sustainable bites. And then in Jamgaon, where they held their own camp in this village called Jamgaon, they completely served vegan meals in all 7 days of their camp. So there have been different challenges to this program because India has such a diverse audience, language, and geography always becomes a barrier. But because of going online, and what we also do is through this program, we invite activists across India who are somehow, some of them are situated in South. So if they know a particular language of that very city, of that very locality, we invite them, we train them on how to conduct these sessions, we get them on board, and they conduct the sessions. So we are able to manage through the language and geographical barriers through using Zoom and online platforms, and also inviting local speakers in different areas. Then also inclusion of sensitive audience means that most of the times, like in fact, today at this university where I am, Kurukshetra is one of the areas in India which is highly religious, and second is has a lot of students that come from dairy background, who come from farmer families and have dairies at home. So if we ask them a question in the classroom, they'll say they've seen a cow back at home because their parents are dairy farmers. So how to include this audience in understanding animal cruelty, yet without hurting their sentiments or making them feel like they can't be part of our workshop, is something we do. We package our program as saying, let's talk about animals. Let's just talk about how can we be involved in protection and welfare of animals. So we also do this in two ways. We first talk to them about community animals, the companion animals, and then we bring in the idea of the farmed animals and what happens with farmed animals. And most of the times, these students are very receptive. We start the program by telling them that we have not come as a debate. We don't want to, we are not saying that you go vegan today, but you hear us out and you take steps that you can. So this is how we deliver in any of their sessions. And we also do not use any kind of gory pictures or don't show any videos because we believe that, you know, the more compassionate you are in your communication, the more you're on the other side of the table with them. If you're sitting with them and you're at the same level with them, then you can win. And we've been able to see that happen with our program. So in about 2 years, this program has been running for about 2 years now. We worked with about 82 colleges, and most of these colleges, in fact, 90% of them come back to us again and again, asking for a newer batch to be trained about these things. Then we have sensitized faculties and students in these 82 colleges. About 8,430 students and faculties have been sensitized about farmed animals. We've been able to veganize 34,000 plus meals, and 15 animal welfare groups or communities or these campus volunteer groups that work for animal rights and welfare have been developed in 15 colleges. Then 5 of the colleges, including one of the IHMs, has signed a commitment with us where they celebrate one day of the month as a complete green day, where all food that is served in the IHM is completely veganized. And also all of the camps that NSS groups are going to do at any point in the year will be completely vegan camps. No dairy, no meat will be served in any of those camps. And through the activities that students have themselves conducted online or in their local communities, 71 such activities have been conducted. And about 93,000 people have been reached out through their efforts. And this number that says 207 students went vegan, this is through, you know, the feedbacks that we have received, the forms that they would write. Sometimes they would message us and say, I'm going vegan today. Pardon me, sorry for the background score. So this is how, you know, this is what this program has been able to achieve so far. And yeah, so these are just some of the testimonials, some of the things that students have written to us at times during the session, during an outreach, while we are in the college with them, or just having a candid discussion. They would tell us, you know, how they found it as an eye-opener for them, and how even though they can't just switch overnight, they would really like to bring down their consumption. So that's about it for me. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Sarita, for sharing. And this is really a lot of information to take on. You have been doing quite many activities in India. And for everyone who is joining this session today, you can learn more about Sarita's and FIAPO's work on influencing the youth in India by checking out our AfA podcast, which is now available on various platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, and Listen Notes. Sarita has recently kindly shared her work via our postcard. With that saying, I would like to say a huge thank you to our three amazing speakers, Shirley, Monica, and Sarita. Your programs are so inspiring. Like many of us will agree with us. And now is the time for some questions. And I hope that you can open your camera and enjoy the Q&A session. So we have some question about your work, and I hope that it will help people to learn and understand more about the programs. The first question is for Shirley about ProVeg International. So how does ProVeg identify and select promising startups to participate in the incubator program? What criteria are being used and to evaluate their potential for success? Shirley, can you unmute yourself, or if you need help? Okay, good. While we're waiting for Shirley for technical issue, and we are so sorry for that, let's move to the next question, and I hope Monica can speak now. So can you elaborate more about your cultural factors in historical influences that have shaped China traditional food culture? And how does Xiaobu Vegan navigate these cultural nuances in promoting plant-based diets?
Yeah, can you maybe make the question more detailed? Like what do you mean the culture part? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry for that. Yeah, so to make it shorter. So like the Chinese food culture is really diverse and really unique, and it's spreading even like present around the globe, and they are very well known for that. But how does Xiaobu Vegan like go over that and have some influence on like you mentioned, like people in China tend to eat everything, but now you're only promoting plant-based. So how does you work that?
Yeah, right. So right now, our organization, we've been doing most of work in Shanghai and like in other big cities too, like Beijing or like in Guangdong. So I have to say the region part is a little bit easier for us because people in big cities are more willing to adapt to the new eating habit. Or they are willing to try more plant-based foods, like no matter it's milk or meat or like egg or other things. So I think the big city part help us a lot to do to our works. And for the education part, people are easier to adapt to the new thoughts too in big cities. That's one part. And for what you're talking about, since people think that Chinese people eat everything, right? So of course we want to, like the whole industry, the whole plant-based industry, we want to replace the meat. But I think right now, or what we want to do, like step by step, is we move from the most consumed meat, like pork, beef, and chicken. We change this first. For example, we now have plant-based pork, plant-based beef, plant-based chicken. And I think in the future, will there be any plant-based chicken feet for Chinese people? I don't know. I wish. So Chinese people might not have the real chicken feet product, and instead we can have the plant-based one. But I think that's like the step-by-step path. So I'm really looking forward to see that, and as a platform to promote this idea and to push all the new plant-based products to the market. We're willing to see more of these brands coming, and we're willing to cooperate with them. Yeah, but I think the step-by-step is more important for us to do.
Yeah, totally agree. I think like every like big achievement, it always starts from small steps. So I really like the name of your organization. It's spot on. We also have a question for FIAPO. So, Sarita, for the workshop on farm animals, sentience and speciesism, veganism and plant-based diets, how does FIAPO ensure that the content is engaging and impactful for students with different levels of and familiarity with this topic? Because we are aware like animal sentience and speciesisms only been like talked about quite recently.
Yeah, thank you, Dan. So I think we've never had a problem with the content requiring any specific kind of so like I'll simplify. So what happens is that these students that we meet, they barely have any idea of veganism. They have no clue who farmed animals are. This has been my own experience as I speak in a lot of these sessions, and what I see is if I would ask them, do you know what do you think when I say chicken? And all they would think of is butter chicken or chicken legs or something like something edible. And when I say, what about a bird? So it starts very small. We just introduce the idea, what if a chicken has a name, a family, relationships, and we bring in the behavior and facts about how these are very social animals, how they're complex, they're emotionally intelligent, and they're most of the times the students are really surprised to learn that. Then once we have talked about the sentience or these behavioral aspects and the personality aspects of these animals, and we go down from chicken, from a hen to cattle, cows, mostly because in India we are big on cows. At least we think we are very, very warm towards cows, but we're not as a country, because even though we think India is mostly vegetarian, but India is also one of the leading exporters of beef across the world. It's the second or the third largest, right? So we tell them these things, and often we have been surprised at how do students have never ever gone out and looked these things on their own. So it's never a difficulty in engaging them in this in these in these topics, in these sort of aspects, because it's very new to them, and most of the time they have no idea about it. So we go very basic. We don't go big on them. We don't talk about sentience and anti-speciesism in any big sense. We don't do a lot of terminology using, but we tell them concepts with examples. We relate things with human experience also at times. We ask them, like, if we were to be thrown behind, so sometimes we talk about zoos and we say, what if we were to be thrown into places where people would come and watch us and what we do and how we live our days? Would you enjoy it? And most of them, of course, would say no. And then we tell them, then think about when we do that to animals, what would they feel? So their question is like, what do they feel? And that's where often it helps us to have those researches, and there is a lot of animal behavior research, and we tell them that, but this is not even new data. Been out there for so long. Some of you will choose to probably study wildlife, to study rights of animals or something in your masters, in your later studies, and all of this information will come handy. So I think sharing research, and a lot of times students, they're just willing to listen, because as they're part of NSS groups, they are curious and socially driven in certain ways, but they have never thought, there has never been a figment of imagination in their heads about that a social cause can also be related to animal rights and animal justice movement. So most of the time, this is what we do to engage students.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you to hear. And to follow on that, I'm just interested to learn, like, how can student or university interested in participating in your campaign get started and receive support from your organization? What kind of support they received?
How are you asking how did they get interested in working with us?
Yeah.
I think first time we pitched a program, and so NSS. Actually, NSS is like a wide group across the country. If you work with one college, the news is bound to go to other colleges, and they're always on the lookout for what new things can be done with the students, because in national service scheme groups, students have to take initiatives. So they are always on the look for, and social media platforms like Instagram have helped us a lot. So first time we had pitched it to one of the colleges. FIAPO has always conducted lectures in colleges in past also, but we never thought of it as a whole program before. We never thought that this could develop into building communities in colleges. While it was happening on its own, sometimes these colleges were coming back and they were saying, we have a new batch, we want to talk about veganism. One student would be interested out of the whole 40 lot, and they would say that, can you come and do it? I will take a permission in my college. And we would go, we conduct a lecture, and we would come back. We never thought it has a potential to grow into a whole program where we have steps into how to help them not just learn, but become animal rights advocates. So initial few times we started reaching out during COVID, and my colleague Jagrati, who's also right now at this institute, she's participating with the students. She's kind of engaging them today. So she used to go to these colleges, and I think we did about 3 such sessions in 3 colleges, and then we had about 7 or 8 colleges just reach out to us and say, hey, you did that with Azim Premji University. Can you come to our college and do this session with us? We learned that they had heard something new, and we would like to show this to our students as well. So they were just interested in taking an initiative that looked different than the other NSS groups, but this is how it worked. And through their social media, they would promote it on their social media. It just really helped us because it travels really fast. And basically because they're students, they would talk to their peers and they would talk to their friends in other universities as well. And a lot of times, like today at this university in Kurukshetra, the professor, Dr. Ankush, I was speaking with, he is their head of the department for hotel management. And he said that, why didn't you plan it with IHM Kurukshetra? You could plan it with IHM Shimla. And I was like, there's often so much opportunity that you feel like, if you had just enormous amount of funding to back it up with, I could go tomorrow and conduct these things. But it's generally very difficult to do that. Logistics always matter. But there has never been a difficulty in getting leads in colleges. It has never been like that. We generally find that everybody's very receptive to learn, because for IHM students, it's something new, it's a market trend, and also because we bring a chef, we bring people from the industry that tell them that, there is a huge customer base that you need to cater to. And if you're a part of a hotel management or the tourism or food industry, you can't be somebody in the production unit and not know what your restaurant is serving. You have to know it from the reception down to the chef, what is served in our menu. So they really like to learn these things. And when we tell them about plant-based food trends, and we tell them about some of these beautiful influential chefs across the globe, and how there are Michigan star restaurants that are completely vegan, they're just really inspired. And they're like, we could have that in India. And then we tell them about Good Dot also, because Good Dot is one of the, I think one of the richest mock meat company in India. It's one of the leading ones. So we tell them about them, and we say that, but they make meat, and you would not be able to tell it apart. You'll not be able to tell that it's a mock meat. And they're really, really intrigued. So once they have learned it, they share this information with other IHMs and other institutes. Even the professors would give us, yesterday I had a whole pages full in my diary where they were just giving me numbers, and my phone had ran out of battery because I was just clicking pictures, and I was like, just hold on to this information, just give me some of it later also. So it's always good. It's never been a challenge.
That's very nice to hear. I'm so glad that to see how the veganism movement is going on and really well in India. And it's very inspiring. You have my biggest admiration for your work, and you and your team do. We have one question for Xiaobu Vegan. That's the vegan. You have the vegan debate and vegan challenge that are really interesting, and it's really great campaign concept. But how does your team structure these events so it sparks meaningful discussion and encourage participants to explore the plant-based option?
Yeah, you mean specifically for vegan debate, the debate project, or including the vegan challenge?
Ideally both. I'm interested in both, and that'd be great.
Okay. Yeah, I think, okay, let me start with the debate, because I do realize this is a quite special event, and this is what we do. So the reason why we are doing this debate is because we realize the power of the social media. Like people are now watching a lot of videos mainly online, no matter TikTok or Twitter, or like there are so many Chinese mainstream platforms too, but maybe some of you might not be that familiar. But so the social media is very important for us to promote our concept. That's one thing. And another thing is we do realize, like from a lot of offline events, for example, like vegan Thanksgiving or vegan like Chinese New Year party like that, we realize there are so many people, they have so many different kind of opinions and they want to express. But they don't have a proper platform to talk about what they are thinking. And in our community, I have to say not all of them are vegan or vegetarian. There are a lot of them, they are flexitarian, and they are the friends of their vegan friends, and they also come to join our events. And we realized that at the beginning, they might not buy it, the concept. But after eating some of the vegan meals, they start to like really like the food and really enjoying participate in this event. So through all this experience, we realized we want to create a platform or an event for people to express their feelings and for them to really, during these 2 hours, say whatever you want to say, and you hear the other team to say back about their own opinion. So by doing this, we want to collect more opinions for veganism. So of course, because we somehow feel like when we stay in this industry for a long time, you have friends like vegan friends, vegetarian friends, or people who like animal, they support the environment protection. You feel like, oh, that's the word or that's the mainstream. But we should also realize there are so many people that outside our group, they have totally different opinions. And we feel like it's important for us to know what they are thinking, what they are like, why they say no to the plant-based, no matter it's food or concept. And we want to learn so we can, like when we through all this discussion, we can learn and we can improve our theory, we can strengthen our concept. So that's the reason why we are doing this. That's the main reason. And during this event, we will record everything to put online. So not only people who come to join the events can know what is happening or what's the what people are fighting for. And through the videos we post online, people from all over the world, because we have English subtitle too, can realize, okay, so what's the argument? And especially we think people from the other, like outside of China, I think they want to know what Chinese people are thinking about this concept, because China sometimes can be a little bit mystery, right? So it's hard to get like what you are thinking. What's your idea about this concept? Maybe you only eat tofu for the plant-based protein, right? So things like that. That's what the reason why we're doing this, the debate part. And for vegan challenge, we're doing vegan challenge like a lot of other organizations. We encourage people to join the challenge, to really try it, to during this time go to the restaurant, vegan friendly restaurant or vegan restaurants, and they can get the coupon during the challenge period. So yeah, so I think I have more to say for the debate part. For the vegan challenge part, it's also very interesting. And other organizations are doing the similar things too, but maybe with different time frame. We are doing like 1 week. Some other organizations, they're doing 22 days or like even longer or a little bit shorter. So I don't know if that answers your question, Tan.
Yeah, that's perfectly. Thank you very much, Monica. And yeah, I agree with you like totally that we need to listen from both sides. So we don't like always listen to vegan already, like opposed to the public, like meat eater, but also need to hear from people from the other side, like why it's so difficult to change. It is because of this and that, and it's helped us to understand and be more effective. And we have some like comments in the chat with that from one of the attendees to this session, and say like he or she really loved your work in wherever you are in your country, in China, in India, and internationally with ProVeg, and he or she wished that this could happen in Nigeria. So do you think that your projects could be done in other countries outside your own? And if so, then what advice do you want to give so that it could be like more effective? And I think this is a question for both, if you don't mind.
Maybe Monica can answer first.
Yeah, okay. So I think from my part and the other like the experience maybe I want to give to maybe the other countries. I've been talking with quite a lot of group leaders, organization leaders from different countries. I think maybe being more open-minded is very important. Like what I said before, we can still be friends with maybe meat eaters and learn from them, like why it's so hard to change, and maybe they want to change but they failed. Just need to be more open-minded and collect opinions and experience from different kind of group of people, so to come back to help our own industry, the no matter it's plant-based or alternative protein or animal welfare, or the big family to grow up. So I think that's very important. And if it comes to what we are doing here in China, can give advice to people from other countries. I think outside of China, there are so many other countries and with different backgrounds and situations. Maybe if I have like more specific knowledge for the specific country, I can give more information. So if you want to talk to me more, can contact me. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'd have the same answer as Monica. I think if anybody from any other country is interested in running a similar program or having a similar kind of campaign in their country, I wouldn't know the demographic you have. I wouldn't know what the culture and the barriers to that program could be, but I'd be very, very happy to connect if anybody's interested. Please replicate any of the materials that we have if you would like to. We'd always be open for that, because what we have is very India specific. We are like a multilingual country. So we have different kind of challenges, but if you could learn anything, I would love to share reports. I can connect one-on-one also if anybody would like.
Amazing, so amazing, Sarita and Monica. And yeah, we are here, AFA are here for that reason. We're here to connect and unite people, organizations, and individuals working for animals. For us, it's farm animal, but we have other working groups on all species. So yeah, let's come to us. We can help connect you with the right person for your work and your campaign. Yep. Okay, we might have a last questions probably for this session, and for everyone. So, and this one could be for both as well. So everyone is probably know that it's incredibly toxic for that the public discourse regarding veganism, and at least in some English language and some forums, but even in my language, my country, there's so many social posts, social media posts, and they're not. There are many people who discourage us and say. Being cruel and even bullying sort of behavior from people who oppose our idea or like veganism, plant-based. how much is this an issue for in your work and your culture? And it is something like you think it could be overcome with, or any any tips or like explanation of your culture, or whether you face that as well could be helpful.
Okay, maybe Sarita, you can start first.
All right. I think it's I think the question comes packed with a lot of, I don't know, I have a lot of things to say about that, and we have faced a lot of challenges. I think for us, it is how the current environment of a country, whatever the socio-political environment we have, is very, very complete opposite of the work we do. And we face a lot of backlash at times. But I think how we have been able to continue to do the work that we do is by trying to package it in whatever is really, really trendy for people. Like if people are on board for health, we will talk to you about health, but we will come and talk to you about animals as well while talking to you about health. And I think it is discouraging. It is very, very discouraging when people go on social media, and like we have these trollers that would come on our social media posts and say things like that. We've even had it during our sessions. There are times students that would heckle with us. Somebody would mute us, throw us out of the room if we are on a Zoom call. But then we keep reminding ourselves that, you know, the more we continue to do this, there will be a lot of people who will come on board and kind of like sharing small wins as a big achievement within the teams, encouraging each other, learning about, and we always look back at like what 10 years ago where we had we had barely any options other than soy milk in our country. We could not find any other plant-based milks in this country, and the cost of almond milk used to be 395 rupees per liter. Right now, because there is so much of demand, it's come down to 290 rupees per liter in our country. So we see that the movement is growing. You know, the trends and the choices in people are really, really changing. And this ethical stance takes a while to come, but it will surely come. So we kind of like hang on to the hope of it, and we try and listen to what people are saying, what they like, and then we sort of pack our content into whatever they like and then share it with them. And very, very politely we do it. And at FIAPO, we've always maintained that in our communication, we'll always be nonviolent. We may be feeling like we're fuming and fretting inside, but we'll never let that come to our audience. We can take a little bit of a hit because the cause that we're working for is super big. So you can't lose by losing patients. So we kind of keep a very nonviolent communication about whatever we say. Yeah. Over to you, Monica.
Yeah, I think for this topic, in China too, I do have a lot of things to say. Because why some people are having quite bad opinion towards veganism is, I think the main reason is they don't know about this concept, and they refuse to learn. So for the things they don't know, it's easier for them to just say no to them and go with the way they feel comfortable with. So that's, I have to say, maybe the human's nature for a lot of things. So that's one thing. Another thing could be for the price issue. We all know that maybe plant-based products are quite new for the whole food industry, and no matter it's the meat or the milk or the egg, it's not quite hard for normal people to afford. Like in China, a lot of people think, oh, if you eat plant-based meat or like artificial meat, you must be quite rich, and they can only be found in big cities. If you want to try anything in the small cities, restaurants, it's just impossible. So the price part is also another issue. So when people see there are a group of people promote this concept or this kind of product, they will feel like they've been insulted to say, oh, okay, you are so rich, or only you can afford this, I cannot. So some bad words will come after that. So that's also the thing. So when we are doing our work, we are trying to go from the way that we want to be friends with you. That's also the reason why we are calling ourselves Xiaobu Vegan, like XBV, step by step. We don't want to turn people from like today you are meat eater, tomorrow you become vegan or vegetarian. Instead we say, hey, why don't you just try 1 day vegan for 1 week? And like, okay, how about this Saturday, you go to a vegan restaurant just for 1 meal with your friends and support the vegan industry, like things like that. Or if people care about health, then we can list a lot of information about how plant-based diet is healthier than the meat eating diet, that part. Or for people who are fan of dogs and cats, we also have our strategy to get to know them or get closer to them, to let them think about maybe other animals' life is not as much like big difference as your dog and your cat. So by doing this, we want to encourage we want to be more soft, and we want to encourage people, different kind of people, to join our groups in different ways. So we don't want to be too strict, and we don't want to be like, if you don't do this, you cannot join this group. So that's not what we want to do, because if you do that, you will just have more enemies. So yeah, but I do realize there are a lot of people saying bad things about this concept, and sometimes maybe even the official parts, we don't get that much support. But I do think things are start to change, and more, especially young people are taking this concept, and they are willing to at least try.
Yeah, thank you very much, both Monica and Sarita. Very well said. And yes, that's why we need to work with everyone, and together we go further, right? And as you can see, if you can read in the chat, there's so many good comments about your work. Many thanks to our speaker, amazing speaker today, and they said they have learned quite a lot. So thank you very much for spending your time. I know how busy you are. And to everyone, that's the end of our session. But please stay with us a bit longer so we can announce the upcoming events within AFA in the coming time. Over to you, Brooke.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Again, thank you so much for coming today. And thank you, Sarita and Monica and Tang and Shirley in her absence, for being here and just sharing your inspiring work with everybody. You, the audience, we would love to have your feedback on how you thought the sessions went today. If you want to use the QR code there, you can use that in order to complete our feedback form, which will really help us inform future events and make sure that they work best for you. We can go on to the next slide. Another announcement, just to remind you about our upcoming Connect sessions. So this was the first Connect session yesterday and today. We've got other sessions planned for June, August, and November. We don't have registration open for those yet, but we're busy making really good plans, and we hope you will keep your eyes on our social media channels and our website for more information about these and how to register when the time comes. Also, if you're able to make any of our in-person events, we have regional Farm Animal Coalition events planned for Philippines and India at some point this year. We don't have the dates precisely set yet for those, but again, watch this space for further information on those. And we have Asia Farm Animal Day, which has been a growing event over the past several years now. It's been really great, really successful. It will be in Hanoi this year in October. again, watch our social media spaces and our website for more information on these. And finally, our podcast. This again is a new thing for 2024 for us. We have launched 5 or 6 episodes already, and they vary in subject matter, in length and style. There's something for everyone. Many of them are made by our working groups. So we have things that are specific to macaques, dogs and cats, policy, farm issues, and more. You can find these podcasts pretty much anywhere you normally get your podcasts, probably. But if you can't find them in your regular podcast platform, just go to our website and you can always listen directly from there. That's it. Thanks everyone for joining. You're welcome to go on your way now.